Guys, this is Lala Legacy, and welcome back to another episode of Cinderella Phenomenon. So, let's jump right back in. The carriage stops, and as soon as the servant opens the door, Melanie quickly steps out and rushes back towards the palace. Rod watches her go quietly, though his eyebrows are furrowed and he looks guilty. I silently shake my head at him before running after Melanie. Melanie stands in the hallway with her hands to her chest. She breathes slowly in and out, as if she is on the verge of tears. When she notices me behind her, she turns away and wipes her eyes with the back of her hand. I'm sorry for storming off like that. I was just very frustrated at Rod. I said something I shouldn't have back there. If anyone finds out about this, they won't. Your secret is safe with me. And Melanie flashes me a grateful smile before looking at the sky. One moment, Rod is running down the hallway. The next, he has stopped in front of us and is trying to catch his breath. I'm sorry. I'm sorry too, Rod, but right now I would like to be alone. Of course. I'm sorry, Melody, but could you leave me for now? She does not even wait for my answer before walking away, leaving me alone with Rod. You made her cry, Rod! I am fully aware of that. Why are you hiding your curse from your family? You wouldn't understand. I'm doing this to protect them. Protect them? Rod silently shakes his head. They wouldn't understand. Those are the last ominous words Rod spoke before rushing off, leaving me alone in the hall. What happened to him? The hallways are silent at this time of the night, as most everyone in the palace prepares for bed. I am now on my way to our meeting place. Rod told me earlier to wait for him here. I had thought that he would make me go to the march-in by myself after what transpired with Melanie, but I was wrong. Melanie was so upset today. I've never seen her like this before. I turned my thoughts back to the march-in and to what Walt said earlier. I wonder what Parfait wants to talk with us about. I feel my heart beating erratically against my chest. Why do I feel like something bad is going to happen? I realize that I have been standing in the open for a while. Perhaps I should move. People might find my standing here suspicious. I start walking again, and I'm surprised when I feel a hand closer on my wrist and pull me into the darkness. I open my mouth, but a hand muffles my scream. Shh! Rod? Rod's gaze is icy. He speaks quietly, but I can feel the anger simmering underneath his words. What if someone saw you just standing there? Have you even thought about how they might get suspicious? His tone is so accusatory that for a moment I cannot find my voice. But then he is right. I should have been more careful. Sorry. Rod stares at me, surprised. What? I never thought I'd hear you apologize, especially to me. Oh, well, at least I know how to apologize, unlike you. And why would I ever have a reason to apologize to you? Because you've done nothing but treat me coldly, even when I have done nothing to personally attack you. Rod scowls at me, but does not say anything. Instead, he sighs and takes my hand, pulling me after him. What? Let's go before the guards see us. I have no energy to argue with Rod, so I allow him to pull me along. I'm sorry. What? He apologized to me. Don't make me repeat myself. I did not hear you clearly. If there's one thing I know about you, it's that you're not deaf. Of course I'm not. Shh! Someone will hear you. I glare at Rod, but he does not respond. Princess, your hand is really warm. Rod freezes in place and glares at Sebby, who seems to be shrugging. Your thoughts are too loud, Rod. Through the dim lights, I can actually see a faint blush on Rod's cheeks. You are blushing. I am not. He lets go of my hand and starts to walk towards the secret passage with me trailing behind him. We look around to make sure no one is in sight before we both slip inside. I follow closely behind Rod in silence. My eyes move upward to the little bunny plush hanging on his shoulder. Sebby, I've been wondering, have you ever talked with Rod's family as yourself? Rod suddenly stops and scowls over his shoulder at me. What? I am asking Sebby, not you. No, I don't, Princess. Rod doesn't want me to talk with others since he thinks that I might say something unnecessary. So much for that. You still speak even when it is unnecessary. In the dim lighting of the tunnel, I could see a faint pink in Rod's cheeks, but it is probably a trick of the strange lighting. Rod is right. Sebby has blurted out his thoughts more than a number of times. You are not doing a very good job. Sebby sighs. How can I not when Rod here is thinking too loudly? It makes my head ache. You get headaches. That's not the point. The point is that when he thinks on something too long, his head becomes cloudy and really full, like it's going to explode. That's why I got to explain for him. He's not good at expressing his thoughts, so I... Rod cuts Sebby off by pinching his cheeks. Ow, ow, ow! Okay, I'll stop talking now. Rod sighs and continues walking. Rod, have you ever spoken with the Melanie since that earlier incident? No. As much as I want to ask him again about his curse, I doubt that he will divulge anything right now. I decide to keep my thoughts to myself as we head to the Marchen. When we arrive at the Marchen, Parfait and Delora are there to welcome us. The others, however, are nowhere in sight. It's been a while, Princess. Thank you for bringing her here safely, Prince Rod. Where is everyone? They're all resting in their rooms now. It wasn't necessary that they be here for what Delora and I had to want to discuss with you. I will be staying in the tavern then. Rod is about to head for the tavern when Delora stops him. You don't have to leave. What we're going to say involves you too, since you're staying at the palace as well. Rod looks at her curiously, but asks no questions. Parfait and Delora gesture us over to this settee, where we all take our seats. This is something Rod and I must know because we're in the palace. I have a bad feeling about this. Before we start, I would like to congratulate you on your first good deed, Princess. Delora told me about it, and I could see the extra piece on your necklace as well. Parfait smiles at me, her eyes filled with pride. Her faith in me rekindles the dwindling confidence I had. If only you'd seen how happy Delora was when she announced it to us. You didn't have to go into specifics, Parfait. Oh, are you embarrassed, Delora? She smiles at Delora teasingly before turning back to me. Anyway, I know you could do it, Princess. Only 2 more to go and you could break your curse. Yeah, keep up the good work, Princess. And you too, Rod. So, what is it that you wanted to discuss with us? I conducted a little investigation while I was with Melody in the palace, and I found out something important. Something important? I discovered that there is a witch in the palace. A witch? In the palace? I felt a tinge of magic while I was there. It was faint, but definitely there. I don't remember feeling it before when I was there as your doll, Princess. It seems that the witch is using a glamour to hide himself or herself from us. A glamour is a magic that only very experienced witches can cast, which means the witch we are dealing with is no ordinary witch. They have the potential to be very powerful. But what would a witch be doing in the palace in the first place? This witch could be after the king, but what? Parfait and Delora glanced at each other, looking conflicted. It is Parfait who faces me first, her expression grave. I'm afraid there is some other possibility we must make you aware of, Princess. And in order for us to explain it, we must give you the truth. Chapter 6. moving closer. The truth! My only answer is silence. I shift my gaze to Rod, but he avoids my eyes. What is going on? Princess, it is very likely that this witch in the palace is looking for you. What? I cast a glamour on you a long time ago so that you could remain hidden from magical eyes. I did it to protect you, but this witch in question can see through the spell I've cast on you. It is my belief that they are actively looking for you. I close my eyes and massage my temples of my head as I feel a headache coming on. Wait, you said before that the witches want to see their curses unbroken. But this sounds as if they have another motive altogether. What reasons could they have for trailing me? The Tenebrarum has been without a bearer for a long time, ever since the end of the war. A new bearer, however, will soon arise, and the crystal is ready to support them. Some of the witches, the wicked ones, want to make sure that the Tenebrarum continues to spread darkness, even with this new bearer in charge. Okay, but what does that have to do with me? Delora crosses her arms, her expression grim. The title of the bearer is passed down from one descendant to the next. Princess, the last Tenebrarum bearer was the late Queen of Angiel, your mother. I feel my blood go cold. What? As you are the queen's daughter, you are the next heir. Come your 18th birthday, you will inherit the title of Tenebrarum bearer. Mother? A witch? Impossible! Why would you spout such lies? I narrow my eyes at them, searching for some hint that they are lying to me. Delora and Parfait never turn their sad eyes away from me. Rod glances at me briefly before turning away, looking uncomfortable. Hill, dear, your mother and I used to work together to maintain balance, but then the witch hunt drove her mad and turned her heart to ice. But she never used any magic. I would have known if she was a witch. It's possible that you did in the past, but then it seems she erased all your memories of her true identity. Delora was already able to ascertain that most of your memories of her had been snatched away. Hildir needed you to remain obedient, so that when you fully did inherit her role as the bearer, you would continue to do as she wanted. My thoughts feel as if they are spinning endlessly on an axis. The real reason I cursed you was to see if you are truly capable of goodness, Princess. Hildir's influence clung to you even after her death, and we feared that you would continue her previous work. That Angiel might once again fall to darkness if you were not able to help the dark emotions in your heart. So then you cursed me because you were terrified of what I would do if I became the bearer as I was. My only answer is silence. Now I understand why people hated me. It was because I am my mother's daughter. I cannot help but reach out to touch the pendants on my necklace as a feeling of dread washes over me. We know that there is goodness in you, Princess. We only wanted you to realize it by breaking your curse. Parfait sighs, looking guilty. It was a selfish act on our part, I know. But we could not risk another great war. They believed that I would have plunged the world into war? I turned to Rod, who has yet to speak since the conversation started. Did you know about all of this? Everyone knows the story of the Tenebrarum witch and her daughter. Everyone except for me. I glanced down at my hands, suddenly feeling numb. I am a witch, and I will become the Tenebrarum's next bearer. Just the thought of it makes me sick. I think back to my childhood. I can still recall the glares that everyone gave me when I was a child. They were scared of me because I was my mother's daughter? And what about the king? Did he never love me because I was the daughter of a witch? But if that's the case, if my mother was so wicked, then why did the king marry her in the first place? Hildir threatened to kill the woman that he loved if he did not marry her. She threatened to kill Ophelia. Ophelia? So the king has loved Ophelia from the very beginning. I clenched my hands into tight fists. After Mother died, he was able to reunite with his true love, and since then he has treated Melanie and Rod better than he ever treated me, even though I am his daughter by blood. I want to feel angry about this revelation, but instead I feel dreary emptiness inside of me. A heavy feeling begins to settle in my chest, suffocating my heart. He never really loved me. Melody? Rod's voice snaps me out of my thoughts, and that is when I realize that a stray tear has made its way down my cheek. I quickly wipe it away with the back of my hand, angry at myself for showing weakness in front of them. You must be happy to see me like this. What? Your mother was made queen, and you and your sister became royals overnight. It's like something out of a fairy tale, isn't it? You thought you had the perfect life until I came back into it. I never asked for this to happen. I just wanted to... Rod suddenly moves his hand to Sebby's mouth, muffling whatever other words the plush was going to say for him. What is it you want to say, Rod? It's nothing. I can assure you, however, that the power that comes with the crown has always been irrelevant to my family and I. So stop assuming that everyone around you is after your title or your riches. Did your time with my sister not teach you anything? I am about to angrily retort when I suddenly stop, my heart sinking. I have already recognized that Melanie is more complex than I thought she was, and she has also told me that she never wanted to be a princess. My mother wouldn't have married the king if my father was still here. Delora looks between the two of us and sighs. And here I thought your relationship had improved. Now it seems like it's back to square one. I cross my arms and turn away, annoyed. Do you have anything else to add, Parfait? If not, I would like to return to the palace. Princess, stay vigilant and be careful about who you trust. Trust? How do you know whom I trust? What makes you think I even trust, that I trust you? The anger that I was expecting earlier suddenly rises to the surface. For all I know, Parfait and Delora could be feeding me lies, playing with me the way Delora did when she first cursed me. I don't expect you to believe what we've told you. Perhaps it was not yet the right time to reveal anything to you, or everything to you. But please, you need to be careful. I stand up and look at them, my arms now hanging limply at my sides. How am I meant to trust anyone when all of you have been lying to me this entire time? Melody? If you don't believe us, then try asking the king who Hildir really or truly is. I never even thought about asking the king about Mother. Rod, you should watch your back too. It's possible that this witch in question could be plotting something against the royal family as well. They have been in the palace for a long time, after all. She looks at me, then at Rod, her expression somber. I won't be able to stay with you anymore. I had to pick up and leave a few days ago because I was certain he'd catch a trace of my magic. He probably already has. I understand. Anyway, Melody is right to return to the palace now. Someone may notice your absence if you're gone too much longer. You two should leave now. Let us know if you notice anything unusual. I will. We'll see you again soon, Princess. Remember, stay vigilant. Rod and I leave the marchen in silence. Here in the secret tunnels, we are suffocated under even more silence, but still, neither of us makes an effort to speak. I am still stuck inside my own mind, sifting through my troubled thoughts. I cannot reconcile the fact that the wicked witch who led the witches during the war was my mother. I did not even realize how many people hated my mother until after she had passed and they spoke about how cruel a queen she was. I never understood why, since she has always been the perfect person in my eyes. I never connected my mother with the Tenebrarum bearer. But what Parfait and Delora just told me makes sense. Was I living a lie all those years? A lie that my mother crafted so that I remained cold and bitter even after she passed away. And Delora and Parfait say I am meant to inherit the power of the Tenebrarum from my mother. I do not want that burden. I almost bump into Rod's back when he suddenly stops walking. He turns around and looks at me with a serious expression. I cannot help but feel judged under or beneath the weight of that gaze. If you are going to tell me that you never wanted me as your partner because my mother was a witch, then... I wasn't going to say that. What? I won't lie. The first time I saw you, I thought you were like your mother. You were cold, harsh, and selfish. I never wanted to have anything to do with you. That was why I was so against this partnership, but you've changed. But that is all the time that I have for this episode, guys. So if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, subscribe. By subscribing, you're becoming part of a legacy. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!